Well, we're just getting ready to pull into 5-star here, so we got to kind of follow the directions. That says exit only. So we'll just kind of make a circle all the way around the place like we don't know what the hell we're doing, because we really don't. Got some Hitachi equipment. Oh, I gotta get in the right gear here. There we go. Can't find them, grind them. There we go. Alright, so we've got a new loader over here to our left. We got a nice loading dock there. That would be nice to have. Yes, I think that is our bucket right there. Yeah, that is our bucket on a 524. So we're just going to continue. We're going to drive all the way around. We're going to make one whole circle around, just to kind of see what's going on. Some used backhoes. And then some new ones. Another 524 loader. Alright, so now that we've made a full circle through the dealership, we'll go back and get the bucket loaded up, and then we'll get back to the farm and get it unloaded. Get things figured out here. Alright, we're loaded up, chained down decently, I guess. A little sketchy, but I think it'll be alright. To be honest with you, I didn't think this bucket was going to be yellow. I thought it was going to be, you know, like a gray color. But I guess every other bucket they have is that construction yellow. So we'll go ahead and get back to the farm, see if we can get back there without getting any tickets. And we'll get this unloaded. We've got to make up a couple of hoses to go back to the faster coupler that's on the payloader. So we'll go ahead and try to get out of here without twisting any equipment up. And we'll have to keep an eye on our chains on the way home here. Oh, I'm grinding gears like mad here on the old camera. There we go. All right, we'll catch you when we get home here. Well, we have made it back here in one piece. And this is kind of sketchy the way I chained it down. We didn't even have to tighten this at all on the way. I've got this side of the bucket chained here and taken over to that corner. And then the same with this side. Taken around the back. And then that's drawn it this way. And then to keep it back that way, I've just got a chain wrapped around here. But I ended up hooking it to this D-ring so that the chain wouldn't just go up over the top of the bucket. If I had bigger hooks, I could have hooked a hook right into here, but these are just small chains. And I guess that did the trick. The other way to have done it would have been to go over the top of the bucket, but I did not want to put any scratches up there. There's going to be scratches down here just from using it. So we'll go ahead and get the chains off of it. We'll get it down to the shop. I've got to make up some hoses for it. And we'll get to using this. Alright, we've got the rollout bucket still on this payload. And we're just going to roll across the scales here. And we're going to see what the weight difference is between these two buckets. So right now, we currently weigh 38,200 pounds. So we'll dump this bucket off. We'll attach the new bucket, the Kickbox bucket. And then we'll go ahead and roll across the scale with that bucket on there as well. Now this rollout, this tag rollout bucket, this bucket is it has a 5.5 yard capacity to it, and ever since day one we have assumed that it's not technically 5.5 yards, because the other bucket that we have, the regular bucket that came with the 544 loader, that's a 5.5 yard as well. And you size them two up next to each other, and this tag bucket seems like it's a lot smaller. Not a lot smaller, but a little smaller. But this push-out bucket is 7 yards. Let me see if I can get lined up to it. I'm not lined up to it. So like I was saying, this new bucket here is has a 7 yard capacity, and the reason why we increased the capacity was we thought we could handle it anyways with this loader, and we wanted a little more capacity. So this is kind of an awkward angle up on this trailer because it's right at that spot where it's kind of blinded. So now we have this on here. Now this, to be honest with you, it does not feel any heavier than the rollout bucket. So we'll go ahead and roll across the scale, and then we've got to take this down to the shop and hook our hoses up so that we can run the actual push-out function to it. And then we run that right with this third lever here. We have to use this lever to run the rollout bucket as well. So we were 38.2 with the rollout bucket on it. Now we'll see what we weigh. We'll get stopped. We are 39,800. So we're a good 1,600 pounds heavier with this bucket compared to the other bucket. So we'll get this in the shop, and then we'll have to make up some hoses, and we're not going to end up using the bucket until tomorrow. And then probably what we'll do is we'll put the tag bucket on the other 624, and we'll run this push out bucket on this one, and we'll give you a kind of a comparison between the two of them loading a truck. Or we'll do just a comparison video with this bucket on just this machine and the other bucket. So we'll join back up with you once we get some hoses made up here and get this thing so it's functional. All right, we just dumped that bucket off at the shop, and we'll go back across the scale with no bucket on the machine here. And if I remember right, I weighed 39.8 with the bucket on there, and I weigh 33.2. So what is that math? 33, 39, that's 6,600 pounds is what that bucket weighs. 6,600. And this one weighs 5,000, right? I don't know if I did that math right or not. I'm trying to remember the numbers as we go here. So it is just about 5 o'clock at night here, and my youngest daughter has a basketball game, so I do not have time to get this set up. So we'll have to make it part of tomorrow morning's project here first thing. So we'll join back up with you in the morning here. All right, we're into the following day here now. We've got the bucket mounted on the front of the payloader here. We have the fittings and the hoses laid out that we're going to use to get this coupler, this other half of this faster coupler, fastened up so that we can run the hydraulics with the payloader. We have these faster coupler setups on our defacer attachment and on our other bucket, and then this 624 loader along with the other 624, they have this third function which will run the bucket and or a defacer. I ended up making this bracket that just bolted through this hole in this coupler tab here, or in this coupler arm. You can see there's a hole on that side, and there was a hole on this side. I just made this bracket up, which I need to paint yet, and that'll be just used to throw the hoses, the hydraulic attachment up over the top of this unit here, so that when we're attaching and detaching the bucket, we don't get the mechanism caught down in the coupler there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and roll out. I'm going to kind of give you a demonstration of how this bucket works, and if things work out right, we'll have the other bucket on the other loader, and we'll kind of demonstrate the both of them and just kind of show you how both of those work compared to each other. This is a 7-yard bucket. Our other one is a 5.5, which is probably closer to 5 than it is 5.5. Like we did last night when we weighed this weighs 1,600 pounds more than the other one, coming in at 6,600 pounds for a total weight. So let's go ahead and roll out the door here, and we'll do a little demonstration of this and get on with the rest of the projects for the day. Got some metal laying here, and I got some more outside. All right, we've got our hoses hooked up. Now we're going to go ahead and try it. Now, the one problem I might have is a 50-50 chance I've got these hoses hooked up correctly. However, if they're not hooked up correct, we'll just have to switch them, and then that's going to get oil all over everything. Now, I don't want to hear anybody give me any crap for using a crescent wrench to put these hydraulic fittings together. I've got more than enough wrenches to source this job out without using a crescent wrench. But you know what? I'm going to use it anyways. So I don't want to hear any crap about that. So let's go ahead and try this just to make sure we have the hoses hooked up right, so that when we run the lever, we want forward to dump, and when we pull the lever back, we want to retract. All right, we are in business. I had the hoses hooked up correctly. Now, I know on the other loader, we have to crisscross these. And it's the same damn way on this one. It would be nice if this hose here was hooked up to this one and this one was hooked up to that, and they wouldn't be crisscrossing. Now, what I've used on here for kind of a hose protector is just old fire hose. I think this is, I don't know if this is 2" or 1.5", but that's what we use around the farm here. It's 2" and 1.5" fire hose, and usually the ends screw up and then the hose is no good, and we cut the outside jacket off and you get two pieces out of that. This is the inside part of the jacket. It's got the rubber part to it. And then the outside of the jacket is just a canvas sheath, which that's pretty strong as well. This will, once in a while, rub right in here, which is not a big deal. So let's go ahead and try this, and we'll see how this works out. So this will be the first bucket load that we're going to be putting into this bucket, or first jab at a load of material into the bucket here, and then we're just going to kind of carry it. Actually, we could carry it over to the scale maybe. I don't want to spill anything, but this bucket holds 7 yards, and we're not ready to dump anything on the mixer right at the moment, so we'll carry this over to the scale. Usually the silage weighs about 1,000 pounds per yard. So we'll carry this over. Hopefully I don't make any kind of a mess here. And then what we're gonna do is we have to run down to one of the lower bunks, and we're gonna have both loaders running at the same time. I'll get the drone out and we'll do a comparison between the two buckets. We'll have the other bucket on the other 624 loader. Both of these loaders are the same exact loader. We don't want to get into taking a bucket off and, you know, screwing around that way. So we'll go ahead and just do this with two different loaders. Now, it was last night when I weighed this, I think we were 39.8, if I remember right, with the payloader and an empty bucket. So if my math is right, we should be about 46.8, somewhere thereabouts, 7,000 pounds or so, and we are 46,900. So we're roughly getting on about another ton on the loader itself, just being that we have a larger bucket. Now this bucket weighs 1,600 pounds more than the other one, so we're actually carrying about 3,800 pounds more with the bucket, or with, you know, what we have on the front of the loader here, compared to what we would have for gross weight on the front of the loader with the other rollout bucket. It doesn't seem like the back of the machine is compromised at all. In other words, it doesn't seem like we're too overly heavy on the front end, meaning that we've got enough ballast on the rear not to have to worry about the machine coming up off the ground. We'll go ahead and stop quick here, and that doesn't seem to make any difference. So yeah. Alright, we were going to throw the drone up in the air, but I decided not to. Just a lot of monkeying around. So, we're down to the haylage bunk now. Jacob's running the loader here. And what he's going to do is he's going to back around, and he is going to be dumping onto that truck right there. So this is the first he is running. I've handled a couple bucket loads already. And what I did find is that this bucket is so much deeper than the other one, and you kind of need to watch how you pull up to the truck, that you don't pull past it too far. It looks like he's pretty good right there. He could be back a little farther, but it'll all naturally flow here once you get used to this. So he's got that bucket dumped out. We'll go ahead and jump up on the side of the truck here. Well, that cutting edge is quite aggressive. So we better get climbing up on this truck before he gets to us here. We might have to jump off. We gotta be careful. Well, he's not coming for us anyways. He's a little, oh. And that's just the way she goes. So that'll give you an idea how that works. Now we'll do some videoing of the other bucket dumping. That's 2 bucket loads on here, and that's just that's got quite a nice load on there. The machine is ballast just about right. There is a little bit of weight coming off of the back end. So that's the 3rd bucket load. Alright, we'll kind of do the same thing with the push-out bucket that's on the older 624. Now we've had this bucket for, I don't know, 7 years now, I think. 7 or 8 years. And the reason why we have these style buckets is for loading a truck like this. If you had just a regular bucket, being that the buckets are big and they're deep, by the time you roll a regular bucket over inside the truck or over into the truck, it ends up being about halfway down inside the box. So this one here will round a load up maybe a little taller than the push-out bucket, but that push-out bucket also holds a little more. We'll show you what this looks like as it's coming over into the truck here. You can see the boxes that are inside the bucket there. Those are built in there like that to box over the top of the actual cylinder that tips the bucket. So you lose quite a bit of space with those boxes in there. And the other problem that we've had with those in the past is you'll get stuff that is stuck in the corners of the bucket, the back corners and the sides, packed in snow and stuff like that. And if you end up leaving it, it ends up being a real mongrel to try to get out of the bucket. So being that that push-out bucket more or less has to push the back forward. You can kind of see them corners there. So that's 3 bucket loads there. And we put 4 on the other one, on the other load. So we're gonna go ahead and climb off of here. Maybe I'll climb up on that bunk. This will be bucket load number 5. Now 5 bucket loads is about just a touch more than what 4 bucket loads did of that last bucket. So alright, so this will be the 6th bucket load, and this truck is going to have a little bit more on here than what the other loader did with the other bucket, but that'll give you a pretty good idea of how these buckets work. And that is a load. Well folks, that is gonna do it for this video. We'll do an evaluation video on this bucket a couple weeks down the road here, as we get a little more used to it. We're a little clumsy with it today, being that it was the first day with it. So I'll be mixing feed with it in the morning. We'll see how it works for that. And that is gonna do it for this one. So thanks for watching folks, and we will catch you at the next one.